EU leaders headed into a summit yesterday and they struggled to agree an oil embargo against Russia, which exempts a key supply route, a concession aimed at appeasing Hungary, which has been blocking the sanctions for nearly a month. And you can see on the screen it says here EU agrees to ban most Russian oil imports. So they finally agreed to ban most of the imports, I think mostly from oil tankers. And the watered down embargo will include oil and petroleum products, but will crucially allow a temporary exemption for crude delivered by pipeline, according to draft conclusions seen by the Financial Times and the New York Times. So the conclusions are still subject to change, and diplomats have not agreed how long any carve-out of oil supplied via pipeline would last. Keeping pipelines out of the embargo has been a key demand of Hungary, which has argued that a ban will put its economy at risk, given its reliance on crude delivered by the Druzhba pipeline from Russia. But on his way into the Brussels summit, the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, insisted there was still no deal and that he wanted guarantees Budapest could still access Russian oil from other sources if there was an accident with the Druzhba, which crosses Ukraine. He also accused the European Commission of irresponsible behavior in failing to ensure security of supply for Hungary in its proposals. Okay, so in another development, the EU has vowed to help Ukraine export grains overland. So yesterday they intensified their efforts to get food out of Ukraine by land, as Russian blockade of the country's ports threatens tens of millions of people across the world with starvation. The EU summit that that's going to finish today, the 31st of May, will pledge to improve attempts to find alternative routes to bring out millions of tons of grain over the next 3 months and free Ukraine's warehouses for the coming harvest, according to draft conclusions seen by the Financial Times. So yes, given all of the war that's going on there, some farming still going on and they still have some food to export. So dozens of countries rely on cereals grown in war-torn country, mostly exported via its Black Sea ports, which are now either in Russian hands or blockaded by warships. Okay, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has said he would allow grain ships to leave the port of Odessa if the EU lifts the sanctions it imposed after its invasion of Ukraine 3 months ago. Kyiv needs to export 20 million tons of grain in the next 3 months, or some of those crops will begin to rot, as there will be nowhere to store them. After the August harvest. In April, just 1.2 million tons were exported. You can see 1.2 million out of the desired 20 million, or the expected 20 million. Ukraine produces 12% of the world's wheat, 15% of its corn, and 50% of its sunflower oil. Okay, so according to Charles Michel, president of the European Council, say they will discuss concrete ways to help Ukraine export its agricultural produce using EU infrastructure. So the EU on May the 12th announced a plan to take up 4 million tons of grain out of Ukraine a month through neighboring countries, but Brussels accepts that the challenge is a huge one, because amongst other things, railway gauges in Ukraine and the EU are different. So trains must change the bogie, that is the chassis that carries the wheels, or the cargo must be switched to different trains. It has launched a desperate plea to member states to provide equipment to do the transfer, as well as rolling stock, trucks, drivers and barges. A total of 467 wagons can be handled today. The 8 railway border crossings with Poland, Hungary, Romania, and Slovakia. Okay, according to the EU Transport Minister Adina Valian, um, last week the bloc, the EU, European Commission instructed agricultural ministers to speed up border crossings. There were shocking examples of entire convoys being delayed for 4 days or something, even close to 10 days for missing certificates or types of cargo where such certificates were not even required at the destination, she said. Okay, so see what you make of all of these things, and thank you very much for watching this video.